episode, you will see that we stay at 3 harvest hosts in New York on our way west, and we decided to go to 2 in which we had already stayed since we were comfortable with getting in and out and the great service at both of them. They were Backyard Brewing and Prison City Pub, both with yummy food and drinks, great hospitality, and lots of room for the kids to play and stretch their legs. I will talk more about the 3rd harvest host later in this video. As you can see, we are pulling into the first one, Backyard Brewing, which was an absolute delight, being the only ones there that night and a large yard for our children to run.
Alright, we just got into Delanson, New York, staying at one of Chantel's favorite harvest hosts, Barn Brewery. We were here about a year ago. There was a guy here in a taco truck, but I spoke with the owners when we pulled in. She remembered us, but unfortunately the taco guy will not be here tonight. Tomorrow's the 4th of July, so the place we were gonna be staying at tomorrow is actually closed, which is cool that they still open it up for people to harvest host there, but we wouldn't have been able to support their business. So we made the decision to cancel that reservation, and we're going to go to Prison City Brewery, another spot that we've been before and we really enjoyed. So we'll give them some extra business on the holiday.
Wow. Whoa!
Take a chow. Nice throw.
That's pretty good.
Oh, that didn't go that far. You're gonna bust out a good one, I know it. Alright, your turn, Estelle.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go now. Please don't be like me. Please be like one. I got you!
No, it is the ice.
It's ice cream!
Seriously?
Dude, that is cheating!
It wasn't cheating. That's not cheating. That was her next card. Okay, your turn.
Okay. I know I'm gonna get.
Ooh, 2 greens. You're busting them out, bub. What's up? What do you need, sunshine? Errol, you look like you're up to something. Happy 4th, everyone. We are in New York. We'll be traveling today for a little bit. But the kids are enjoying their nice, huge yard that they have this morning. Doing some playing. We love it. Beautiful. Nobody's here except us. Kind of a great way to wake up on this Independence Day. We'll be hanging our flag later, taking a few more videos.
You having fun?
I'm very strong to pick the yellow dump truck up. Yeah, that's... Or you can pick both.
I found a baby duckling. Thank you for the surprise. Should we put it back?
Yeah.
Well, happy 4th. I'd have to say this is probably one of the most beautiful days that we've had in a long time. Minimal to no humidity today, bright blue skies, and we had another epic stay at Barn Brewery in Delanson, New York. Definitely one of our favorites. Kind of like a diamond in the rough. We had a great night last night. Enjoyed some really good craft beer. And we had the place to ourselves at night. Slept really good. Fresh air, no generator. Can't beat it. We're packing up. We got about a 2.5 hour ride to another brewery we've been before last year, City Brewery in Auburn, New York. So we're almost all packed up. We're gonna get Betty fired up, and we'll start continuing east. And hopefully we don't run into too much traffic, any parades or anything like that, and it'll be smooth sailing. So we'll see you in Auburn. Kids are ready to hit the road. Our departure is pretty easy. After we do a quick cleanup inside, we do a cleanup outside. I already attached the Jeep. And everybody's gone to the bathroom. Everybody's buckled in. Everybody's got their water. Okay, I'll turn the volume up. Slides are in. Dishes are done. Dishes are put away. And now I'm going to turn the key to the ACC position, and then we're going to get the jacks up. Auto stow. It shakes and rattles a little bit, but you get used to it after a little while. Once all the jacks are up, I'll get a green button which says that we are in travel mode. Once I'm good with that, I know the jacks are up. I'll fire up the rig, and then once we have enough air pressure, I'll move down a little bit. I'll have Chantel get out, check the lights, and make sure that the Jeep is rolling fine.
Sunshine. Or it might be warm, so hold on.
I'll work on finding. So while in New Hampshire, we're having a lot of generator issues, but we also noticed that we were having issues with our stabilizers. We'd be laying in bed, and we could literally feel one of the stabilizers moving. And how we would know it was moving while we're laying in bed, the rear of the coach would move a little bit, and so one thing led to another, and we'll fast forward to last night when I was walking around the rig. Chantel mentioned that she didn't think the stabilizers were down. Well, when we first got here, stabilizers were good, everything was fine, but then we're having an issue starting the generator. So I toggled the switch to the on position. I believe I ended up turning it to the on because the ACC didn't work, so I put it onto the on switch. And I think what ended up happening was it moved my stabilizer up in the rear, just underneath our bed. Because I went out, I looked, and literally there's probably about a ½ inch between the stabilizer and the ground. So this morning we were trying to turn the generator off by hitting the gen stop button, and the generator won't stop. So I think, and I've mentioned this for about a year now, is I think that there's an electrical issue somewhere with the ignition switch, which is tied into the generator and our stabilizers. How exactly, I'm not sure. Prior to that, if you watched an episode last year, our awning came detached from the rig, which I had said that it was associated with the ignition switch, because every time I would toggle the ignition switch, it would trigger the awning, the forward awning, to move in and out. And then we lost that. We haven't had any issues with that awning, the new one, but let's see if I can hit the generator stop, and let's see if it stops. It stopped that time, but Chantel wasn't able to stop it earlier. I really don't need to use this because you can see it didn't touch the bottom. Went all the way through. All the way through to the other side. Just not even down. Generator's acting up again, so we're getting ready to take off from City Brewery and turn the generator on for the third time. We'll see if it starts and stays running. That was a rough start, which leads me to believe it's not going to stay running. Let's go out and take a peek. So the first two times it shut off, We turned the AC on. It'd run for about a minute or two, and then it just died. So, but the strange thing is it ran perfect last night. It ran most of the afternoon because it was a little warm. It ran all night fine, no issues whatsoever. We shut off this morning to get some fresh air in the rig. Had it off for about 2 hours, 3 hours. And we're getting ready to rock and roll, so we wanted to turn the generator on to cool down the inside. So it's nice and cool for the kids, but let's see if it stops. Stopped again. You can start it from out here. I'll give it a shot. Notice how rough it is when it starts. Usually when it starts rough like that, it won't stay running. So this is usually an every morning routine, but of course when you bring it to the dealer it never wants to act up, but in reality this is what happens. So we'll eventually get it fixed, along with the jacks, because the jacks are really concerning. Again, I think there's a electric issue tied in with the ignition switch, which is somehow tied in with the hydraulic system. But how exactly, I don't know. But having driven this for just over a year now, that's the only thing that makes sense. We are departing. We got the generator finally going. Took us 4 tries, but it's starting to cool off. It's running strong for the last 5 minutes. Got all the jacks stowed, and we're going to be taking off, headed to Lowe's, grab some fuel. You guys ready for a road trip?
Loves.
Yep.
What'd I say?
Lowe's every time.
Loves. We're going to go to the Loves. Grab some fuel at the Loves. And then we got a 3-hour trip to Westfield, New York, right on Lake Erie, staying at another harvest house / kind of like a campground, but it's a private residence with a business, and they have a couple camp spots. So we're gonna check that out. It's called Sally's Barcelona Getaway.
Yeah.
So Auburn, New York is home of the Auburn Correctional Facility, which opened its doors in 1816. Also, this prison was the site of the first electrocution by the electric chair, which took place in 1890. This prison was known to be a very harsh prison and forced inmates to participate in penal labor under strict silence, which was forced by the corrections officers. It also was home to several notable serial killers, mobsters, and the individual that assassinated President William McKinley. He was electrocuted in Auburn on October 29th, 1901.
Probably up there.
dance. You can sing and dance, you can twirl, you can do anything. Okay, twirl. I can twirl when I was out on my... And do the Mario jump. I think I can.
We just got into Westfield, New York. We're about half hour to an hour west of Buffalo, and we're staying on another Harvest Host. What's that, bub? You saw me? All right, you ready to go over to the beach?
Yep.
All right. Woo. Yeah, so we're staying at a Harvest Host in Westfield. It's called Barcelona, Sally's Barcelona Getaway. I believe that's what it's called. Met the owners when we pulled in. Super nice. They got an Airbnb here, and I believe they have an Airbnb over there. And this is our setup. We were a little heavy for this kind of like a reclaimed asphalt. So we sunk a little bit. We're gonna have to do a little repair job before we leave. But she's a little unlevel, but doable for one night. But we're gonna go check out a lighthouse. We're gonna check out the beach, and yeah, we're gonna go check out Lake Erie. You ready to go to the beach, girlfriend? Yep.
Anything else? Barcelona Getaway. What a beautiful Harvest Host stop in which we were able to enjoy Lake Erie just steps away from our site. First time our family has stepped foot in any of the Great Lakes. The refreshing lake water and the crashing waves made our morning coffee at the quiet beach a priceless memory. Lake Erie is the 4th largest lake by surface area of the 5 Great Lakes in North America and the 11th largest globally. Situated below Lake Huron, Erie's primary inlet is the Detroit River. The main natural outflow from the lake is via the Niagara River and Niagara Falls. It is the shallowest of the Great Lakes with an average depth of 63 feet and a maximum depth of 210 feet. Because Erie is the shallowest, it is also the warmest of the Great Lakes. Lake Erie's fish populations are the most abundant of the Great Lakes, partially because of lake's relatively mild temperatures and the plentiful supply of plankton. The lake's fish population accounts for an estimated 50% of all fish inhabiting the Great Lakes. Our ventures continue along Lake Erie, which you will see in our next episode. The vastness of this great lake was evident to us as we drove through Ohio and enjoyed stops on the way, which visiting friends that we will forever cherish in our hearts.
And
is that on St. John?
Yeah.
Mama, are at Cold Mine?
We're not at Cold.
A lot more seaweed like this. Gross, isn't it? Wait a minute, so hold up the stick. And why are fishes because we want to see what it looks like. The big pile of seaweed. Oh, let me put that on your stick of stuff.
Figure out
Pull it up, pull it up.
We scored some breakfast sandwiches around the corner, made fresh. So we're pretty psyched about that. Let the kids hang out for a little bit, run them, skip some rocks, enjoy the view. Drinking some coffee.
And then we'll have a short rest for the next stop.
Yep, we'll be staying at a winery tonight, so we're looking forward to that.
That's it. That was uneventful, babe. Well,